And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stramash Media. And I'm sporting, and I'm not in any way biased or anything, but this is a Queen's Park top that was given to me while we were doing our Caledon Radio Sports Show. And I think it was Peter and Alison in Dumbarton. They stay there now, but the Queen's Park fans sent me this. It's not very good for radio, but I thought now's a brilliant time to wear it for this podcast. So here it is. This is my Queen's Park top. They're playing Rangers in the Cup, but listen, I'm not biased. We've got a packed show because we're going to be talking about Scotland in the T20, in the Winter Olympics that are starting in Milan. The opening ceremony is today, and by the way, the Six Nations started yesterday to allow for this to happen today. Don't ask me why. And we'll have football and anything else we can cram into, including a quiz. And we'll start, Glenn, with the first question.
Right, superb, guys. Right, football. Which two Scotland internationals started their careers at Dundee United before leaving for the English top flight? One move into Coventry in 1990 before later winning the Premier League, and the other moving to Blackburn Rovers in 1995. So two Scotland internationals started at Dundee United, both moved to the English top flight. One moved to Coventry in 1990 and then went on to win the Premier League, and the other moved to Blackburn Rovers in 1995. Who are they, guys?
Did they win the Premier League with those teams?
Oh, no. And Coventry City have never won the Premier League.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and only one won the Premier League, the first one.
Right.
The other guy moved to Blackburn Rovers after they'd won the Premier League.
Right. Coventry. Who would move to Coventry from Dundee United? That's a cracker. Any ideas, Chris?
Kevin Gallagher. One of them.
Did he go to Coventry? Kevin Gallagher?
Oh, I think for one of them, no. Is he know the answer?
Well, I think you get both of them, and then but I go with Kevin Gallagher. It's a good shout for the
Kevin
first one.
He went to Blackburn, though, didn't he? He didn't go to Coventry. That's what I'm thinking. So who went to Coventry? We'll start thinking about that.
Chris is going with Gallagher for the first one, and you're not. So are you going to go with Gallagher for the second one?
Yeah, for the second one. But
okay.
For the Coventry, who went to Coventry? Who was sent to Coventry from Dundee United? Let me think about that. Right, so that's it. We're up and running with the quiz. The T20, Glenn, Scotland are in at the last minute because Bangladesh have pulled out. This is a competition that's in a fast-moving cricket forum where it's been played in Sri Lanka and India. There's a big, huge political reason why Bangladesh have pulled out, but what we're here to talk about is Scotland moving in. And it's good news for Scottish cricket, isn't it? At last.
Oh, it's fantastic news. I mean, I'm sitting back here. I mean, I'll occasionally watch cricket. It's not really my sport, but I cheer on anything that Scotland play at. So this is fantastic. They didn't manage to qualify themselves. But because, as you say, because Bangladesh aren't going to go ahead, Scotland are the next highest ranked country, so they get invited in. And it's got echoes of Denmark and the Euros '92. Denmark went on to win it. I don't think we've got much of a chance there. But they're in it, and they've had very little preparation. Unfortunately, there's a couple of guys from Aberdeenshire in the team, and they were saying when they were waiting to hear whether they were going to be entered into it or not. Meanwhile, they were spending all their time shoveling snow from their drives and all that. They couldn't get out to play a game.
I know.
And then I don't know. Did you hear about the? There's a really good news story in this one about the young refugee. That came from Afghanistan, and basically he'd been in Scotland for about, I think, three and a half years, and it's I'll probably pronounce his name wrong. It's Renula Insan, and he said he was peering over the fence at GHK in Glasgow. They were playing cricket. And there was a match going on, and there's a few guys there, and he just said, I like cricket, and they invited him in, and then more people ended up watching him practicing than actually watching the game. And then it's and now he's at the World Cup, and and he says that I think Scotland had a warm-up match against Afghan, Afghanistan, and they lost. But he wasn't playing because he took a wee while to get his visa. So he was standing yapping to all the Afghanis, etc. And obviously he's from there, you know. And one of the reporters said, "Oh, is there a bit of mixed loyalties, etc.?" He says, "No." He says, "Scotland gave." Yeah, and he was deadly serious. So he said, "Scotland gave me respect." He goes, "I'm born in Afghanistan, but Scotland are my country." You know, and and apparently a very humble guy and with a lot of potential.
Yes, it's hope he does well. I really do, because that's the kind of talent that doesn't come along every day of the week. Chris, are you a cricket man? Do you like T20? It's a fast-moving game, not the tests cricket. It's not like that.
No, I like the way they drink, but I lived in England for a while, so I knew of it occurring, but I never actually managed to get to a game.
So you don't like it? Not even if Scotland
I'm not a
playing.
massive fan. No, I mean, if somebody was going and I wanted to go with them, I would go and sit. Aye.
I've watched cricket and I've really enjoyed it. I've got to say, and I do love the format because you've got to bat your way to win, and there's not much the bowlers or the fielders can do if you've got an excellent batsman. Scotland have got a couple of good batsmen, Glenn. I can't mind. I've got it written down somewhere. Who have got? It's not in my notes. Can't mind. Anyway. It's looking good for Scotland. We've got a place there, and we're flying out pretty shortly. There's good news as well, Glenn, isn't there, for the Scottish women's T20 team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is not very often that Scotland do well, both men and women in the same sport at the same time. But Scotland booked their place. The women booked their place at the Women's T20 World Cup. They beat America in, I think it was a Super 6 qualification in Nepal. So that's in June. I think it's held in England. So, you know, it's a lot easier logistically and all that kind of stuff. And they've got plenty of time to prepare, unlike the men who were kind of like a last minute inclusion. But no, it's really good. We welcome revenue for what is a minority sport in Scotland. So, and you know, when it comes to funding and developing players, they need every single penny. So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant for both the men and the women.
It is, and just a shout out to the Scottish Cricket Association, because it's short notice. This was really short notice. They've managed to get the hotels, the travel arrangements, the practice areas, and the games, and pick the team and fly them out on short notice. I've been very critical of the Scottish Cricket Association, but on this occasion, you've got to tip your hat to fast work and good work to get a team and a squad out there to play and represent Scotland. Big news.
Absolutely.
The Winter Olympics are starting tonight. The opening ceremonies tonight. Chris, I'll go again with you. Do you like watching any Olympic games? It's Winter Olympics just now.
Ice hockey.
Aye.
I caught that a couple of times when I was over in Canada. I like that. I mean, it's like five-a-side with skates, really, I think, and a lot more.
I don't like it.
A lot more box. Well, I mean, it's a bit sort of glam, but no, I like the nice wee. I don't know what you call them, stadia or whatever, but it's a nice wee tight stadium, and you can get behind the team. It's quite an intimate sort of sport, but I quite enjoy it.
Over in Canada, Glenn, their big sport is curling. You wouldn't know that Scotland have got a fantastic curling record as well, but it's never a Scotland setup. It's always under a Team GB thing, and it turns a lot of people off in this. We've moved on politically in the last 20 years, and Scots aren't enamoured by watching their team play in different colours. You're the same, aren't you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, I tell you, I love watching curling, as you'll know. I much prefer to watch the World Championships or the European Championships, because Scotland compete, as a nation there. We're the home of curling. Obviously, Canada have been dominating for quite some time just by sheer numbers, but we've been doing well in the last 5 to 10 years, and we've got a good pedigree in it. So I much prefer seeing the Salter up there than the Union Jack, but I will be watching it because, look, at the end of the day, for me, they're Scottish athletes, and that's who I'm cheering on. It's just, for me, it's a bit unfortunate that they're under the banner of the Union Jack, but they're doing really well. I don't know if you've heard, They're starting off with the mixed doubles, so it's Bruce Mount and Jen, isn't it? And they've won 4 out of 4. And they're actually performing so well that Snoop Dogg took a selfie with them because he said he knew all about Bruce. And he was like, you know, and 100% record so far. They're going really well. Then they start, once this finishes, I think on Tuesday, they then move into the men's and the women's as well. But there is a possibility of like walking away with like 3 medals in the 3 events. There's also, I mean, I'm with Chris as well. Ice hockey, I actually quite enjoy watching it. But we've got skiers from Scotland as well that are doing quite well with real potential of medaling. Did you guys hear of the really bizarre ski jump story about athletes injecting themselves in their penises?
No,
No, honestly. Okay, I wasn't sure how far this had gone, but the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, are getting involved now because apparently, there's a type of it's an acid, but it's a beauty acid that they use on to plump up lips and plump up your complexion, etc. Okay, so men are injecting themselves there because it makes it a bit. You know, before they get their suits measured, they inject themselves. It makes them larger in that area. Therefore, they get a larger suit. And if your suit is
an advantage.
That's it. If your suit is 5% bigger, you hang in the air longer. Therefore, it's in your interest to have a bigger suit than is actually required.
Wow.
You think, oh my God, you know, I mean, it's a scary thing to do, full stop. But I mean, the way that people look for any kind of competitive advantage, I don't know what WADA can do because none of these substances are illegal. But of course, they never thought that anybody would actually be injecting it into their bodies.
I know. Well, here's the thing about representation. Do you remember a guy called Alan Baxter? He was a skier.
Yes.
And he got a bronze medal. And when he bowed down to get the medal, he had a saltire on his head.
Yeah.
It was blue and white.
Yeah. He got bronze, didn't he?
He got bronze. And then hours later, they said he'd used some kind of
inhaler. It was a Vicks inhaler.
Which was a banned substance.
Aye.
It wasn't that, was it? We know fine. It's because he had that haircut that had a saltire on it. And that's why he was deprived of his bronze medal.
Well, I don't know about that.
I do, Glenn. Have you ever spoken to the guy? He's from Aviemore.
Oh, no, I mean, I know he's obviously loud and proud Scottish and all that kind of stuff. But I think what they said was he bought the Vicks inhaler, I think, was it in North America or something? There's different ingredients where it depends on where you buy it, and he hadn't checked it. And but anyway, regardless, he'd done his whole career as a top one, but he'd never really medaled in the Olympics. And it is just a ridiculous thing, you know, to deprive him of that.
I honestly think that you don't show your Britishness when Britishness is expected, and you will be denuded of your medal. I think that's what happened. Yeah. Anyway,
but
Chris,
it wasn't the Brits that denied him it.
Chris, that sounds like a painful experience just to get your suit a bit bigger. There must be a couple of gags in there somewhere.
Yeah, well, a couple of socks, I think, would probably be more in line.
I know with a dag. Indeed.
Straight after 5-a-sides, right enough, you know, there'll be all sorts of injuries.
Aye. I'll be watching the skiing from now on just to see if there's a bit of a gap there, Glenn. Just and people think it might be a pair or something, you know, just watch the skiers.
Your wife will be saying, like, what are you looking at there, Nori, you know?
I know.
If there's something you have to confess.
No, but do you know the one when they run down and they jump on the sledge and they go around?
Yeah, it's a toboggan.
I love that. Aye, that's just amazing. These are traditional sports, but the thing is, I will be put off it because it's Team GB and it's not Scotland. It's under something else. I always like when Scotland can stand alone, like football. We all love Scotland playing football because we can get our saltires out, we can get our scarves out, and they're our colours. These are something else. Butcher's apron and stuff, not for me. So it'll be just as well as Six Nations is on, because that's what I'm coming to next. But first of all, Glenn, can you give us the answers to the first question? Kevin Gallagher both saying, but I'm saying for Blackburn, and Chris is saying for Coventry.
Right. Well, Chris, 1-0 to you.
Wow,
He went to Coventry and then he went to Blackburn Rovers and he lifted the title. The other guy, cracking wee player, Billy McKinlay.
Oh,
right.
He manages Everton with Davy Moyes now.
Yeah, honestly, I remember him. Top of his game. He was really silky.
He was good player, good wee player.
Do you want the next question?
I might as well go for it.
Okay, this one is normally the questions have an absolute black or white answer. This one might be a bit debatable. Who is, given that the fact that we've had a lot of like foreign managers or non-Scottish managers coming into Scottish football, this is the theory behind this, the reason behind it. Who is the most successful non-Scottish manager in Scottish football?
Oh,
who has been, in the history?
Non-Scottish manager.
Yeah. So it can be from anywhere in the world other than Scotland.
Like Bertie Vogts.
Yeah.
Something
but
like
not international, sorry, club level.
Club level.
Yeah.
The most successful in Scotland.
Yeah. Could be Martin O'Neill.
Or it could be Dirk, the Dutch guy for Rangers.
Oh, Dick Advocaat.
Advocaat. He got quite a lot. He was because he had a whole load of superstars in his team, didn't he, at the time?
Aye.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And I'm thinking they ruled the roost for a long, long time. But Martin O'Neill's first time with Larson, that was a bumper period for them as well. So one of them two, I think, Dick Advocaat or Martin O'Neill. That's a good one, isn't it? Think of any more, Chris. It must be Celtic or Rangers, mustn't it? It's because they win all the stuff.
Well,
it must be. Or are we going back real far back in time?
I'm not going to be that cruel to you. It's not like a Dutch guy that managed Queen's Park in the 1800s and won all the Scottish Cups. No, don't worry, guys.
Aye. Dick Advocaat. I'll go Dick Advocaat, Rangers. And Chris, you're going Martin O'Neill, Celtic.
I might as well, aye.
That's two good shouts, Glenn.
It is, and it's two wrong shouts.
Oh.
Aye. So here you go, guys, okay? So technically, okay, it is Brendan Rodgers.
Oh.
Because Brendan's won 4 league titles, 3 Scottish Cups, and 4 Scottish League Cups, sorry. Okay, so he's got 11. But this is the controversial thing, right? Neil Lennon has won 5 league titles, so 1 extra league title, 4 Scottish Cups, and 1 Scottish League Cup. So it's whether you value the League Cup more than the Scottish Cup and the extra title. But anyway, it's the two of them.
Wow, Lennon.
I know. Who'd have thought?
I'd give it to Neil Lennon.
Well, and another thing that makes it slightly controversial is, of course, Neil Lennon finished off one of those titles. So Brendan would have had one, but he left. And then Neil Lennon was appointed interim and then permanent, and he won the title.
Yeah, that's right. That's a controversial one. But good. Well, we went Celtic and Rangers, so we had a good go at that, Chris.
Yeah. Well, my guy was Northern Irish, so I want half a point.
Is Martin O'Neill Northern Irish? Is he? Is he not Irish? Full Irish?
No, I think he's fair.
I think he's Northern, yeah.
Is he?
In fact, they're all Northern.
He played for Northern Ireland. I don't know if he's from Derry or somewhere like that, but he played for Northern Ireland. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think they're all technically Northern Irish, but they're actually all Irish, you know.
Aye, they're Irish. Good question again. That's a really good one. Stumped us both.
You want the last one just to leave it hanging for the show then, and then we can just get on with the rest of the stuff.
What time are we at now? It's now 20 past. We're doing all right, actually, for time.
Okay.
I'd like to move on to where Scotland are wearing their own jersey. And it's the Six Nations that started. There was a match last night, Thursday, and they chose this game much to the chagrin and much to the annoyance of the traditionalists who like it started on a Saturday, all the teams playing, and then on a Sunday. But this is a Thursday, it's just out of hand. And we're getting a Friday game as well. This is a bit like the football, soccer, just that kind of stuff. Is it just a sign of the times, Chris? We've got to move to where the big channels want the rugby to be played, and at their times they're paying the big money for it.
I would absolutely say that corporate sponsorship and all the rest of it. But I mean, it was always got. I mean, we always remember in the past, Wednesday night, Saturday, or Saturday at 3, Sunday at 3, and it just moved for that. So it's just a continuation. But I think I've held out for a long enough time. But it must be
Yeah.
the internationals. I mean, it must be quite a nightmare for people trying to organise. Obviously, if you do a physical job, then you could maybe do a bit of working from home remotely or whatever. But if you're doing a physical job, then there's no way you could get away. You could get away over to France in the Thursday and no miss out on some paid work. But I mean, I suppose that most of the people that do that, they're no worried about losing the odd wee shift, I'm guessing.
No, but no, you're bang on with that, because I think one of the biggest complaints, Glenn, was fans getting time off for a Thursday. It's very difficult for them to travel. Chris is right. Weekends is usually the time they get free.
Yeah.
Is it just corporate money talking, or is it just could the nations have come to a better agreement on this?
It's both, isn't it? I mean, of course they could have come to a better agreement. They should just not have changed it. They're doing to rugby what they've done to football, and in some ways they've done it. They went further with the adverts during the game and all that kind of stuff. But if you look at it, okay, we used to go down to the Scotland football games all the time. We used to take the kids down. It was on a weekend. The qualifier matches, it was fine. We could go down, etc. But then they started making the qualifiers on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And if you're traveling from the north, it is incredibly hard, especially if you've got kids, to get down there and get back, So, and that's what they're doing now as well. And it will just probably get worse, because they're looking for, if a broadcaster has a gap in their schedule they want to fill and they're willing to pay more, then it will move to that time slot. They've started this already, So what's next?
Well, that's exactly what's happened, because I think it's ITV are covering the Winter Olympics, and it's them that have shifted it over so they could manage the other sport they've got on their cards. It started last night. Ireland were away to France, and it looked like Ireland, an aging team, just couldn't get together. A really fast, mobile, beautifully silky French team playing passing football, kicking ahead, running into space. It just seemed like the A team were playing the B team. The French A team were playing the Irish B team. It wasn't a like for like. Did you see it, Chris? Did you watch any of it?
I saw bits of it, but I mean, I think you're right. For the limited amount I know about rugby, you always want to do your best, so it's tempting just to get the best guys out there, who most of them will be the oldest. And I think it's hard to say, just one game, but it could be catching up with them.
I think you're right. I think because they've stuck to a method of playing, a style of playing, Glenn, that other people have been watching over the years and watched them get a bit older and now been countering what they're doing. And I think that's what France did last night perfectly. Just stabbed them with ball, played down the middle. And when you suck them in the middle, you use the space and their runners are really fast down the wings. That's how they got their tries. Really good rugby, good skill, but I tell you what, these guys are getting bigger and bigger, Glenn. It's getting what are they eating? What are they injecting into their bodies?
That's another topic, isn't it? We could chat about that in another show. I watched the highlights because it was on a Thursday. I couldn't actually watch the match, but I'll tell you, France looked devastating. It actually looked like they were playing two different sports, both teams. Ireland were back. They were grinding it out, power and all that kind of stuff, but they were cut open by some precision passing. Some honestly, the handling from the French players. Not only was it really accurate, it was fast. And it was player to player to player to player, cut them open. And I think Chris saying about the older Irish players and aging, they're just the speed of thought. The body's not doing what their brain's saying to them, kind of thing. And it doesn't at this elite level. It doesn't take much for someone to cut you open like that. They can see the gap and they move the ball so quickly and they're away. Their winger was, honestly, some of the play was a joy to watch until you remembered we have to play them. But
I know.
At least we're playing them at home. I think that will. It's hard to see past France, but I'm glad we've got them at home and not away.
Well, here's the thing, Chris. See, at club rugby, Glasgow have taken on Toulouse, Toulon, the crack teams, and beat them soundly. And the French are going to have one eye on Scotland when they play us, because they know we've got dangerous players. And we've left out Duhan van der Verne. He's not in it. Darcy Graham's not in the team. We've got other people in. Jamie Dobie. You've got to watch this guy. And Mercurial Finn Russell at number 10. The only thing I would say about Scotland team for Saturday, Ben White, the most orthodox scrum half. When you've got George Horn, who's a heads up, looking for space, running in the channels, he'll give you everything he's got, and it's a hell of a job playing against him. That's the only thing. The scrum half, I wouldn't have had them that way round. I would have a George Horn on. But Scotland, I've got Italy, and Italy they've got two teams just like Scotland, and they have stepped up to the mark big time. They are now playing the international rugby with a brain. They used to play it with a bit of brawn and a bit of skill, but now they're thinking about their game. I would urge anyone to watch the Scotland game on Saturday. Even if you're not a rugby fan, just watch it. Just watch it and enjoy the battle, because it will be a battle. Scotland are playing over there. A lot of fans have gone over already, making a weekend of it. That's the beauty of the Six Nations. If you can afford it, you can get across to these places and get a game of rugby and see a bit of the sights as well. Does it tickle your fancy, Chris?
Well, I mean, the word on the street is that he's finally picking players on form rather than his old favourites. So I mean, there's going to be a different approach, obviously, and I think that it's quite refreshing. So I don't know if he knows that this is his last hurrah or whatever, and he's just going to go for it. But regardless, picking players in form, they taught in any sport it is all about momentum. So if they're getting the guys that are turning it on just now, then get them in the team, and the other guy, the sort of stalwarts, they can look and see, right, okay, they'll come on a bit later and they know they've got something to prove. So I think it's a bit more positive, to be honest. Aye,
you're absolutely right. Gregor Townsend, Glenn, his time's up. The fans aren't happy. They've not done well in World Cups. They've gone on tours and beaten lesser teams, whereas Ireland and Wales and England all played New Zealand and Australia, South Africa. We didn't. We've got one game at home and got beaten badly. So on the big games, Gregor Townsend, I would argue, still doesn't know his starting 15, and he's an old-fashioned coach. We need the new blood coming in somewhere from somehow, and he's got to move over. We're getting tired of this relying on the shunt up front and playing from the back. If you watch Glasgow, they play in pockets. They play in wee hubs all over the park, and they set up wherever the situation arises. So if you're getting tanked by two forwards coming at you, the backs will move the ball quicker because the forwards can't move, etc., etc. But when he coaches Scotland, he's got a one-dimensional, this is the argument, a one-dimensional way of playing rugby, and that's through the wings, down the line, down the channels. But international teams will just cut you out. And that's the problem with Scottish rugby right now. We're playing into the hands of the opposition, as it were. They know our style. So, yeah, I think he's got a job at Newcastle, Chris. I think he'll be moving on. He hasn't said much, but a bit like Ange Postecoglou. When he had that, he was managing Celtic, but he knew he was going to Tottenham, but he couldn't say it until the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. It's a bit like that. He's going, but when it'll be after this, I think, after this Six Nations. So that's that. We've got half an hour for football. And, there's a lot. It's Scottish Cup again. It just seems like games are coming thick and fast in Scotland. I don't know how these players manage it. Aberdeen still haven't got a manager, boys. I know. We haven't got a pitch that's playable, Glenn. We had the game. Who is it with Celtic?
Celtic, yeah.
I don't know if the game's on tomorrow. Is it?
No, it's not. The Motherwell pitch is bad as well, yeah.
Oh, We'll have to check what other games are on and off as we go through this, but check tomorrow wherever you are.
Quick one for you though. You say we haven't got a manager, but apparently it's getting very, very close to announcing the guy Erich Hornland.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's the first. You've seen all the names before and all that kind of stuff, and it's dragged on forever. And I don't know about you guys, but I've looked at the names and thought, really, I mean, apparently they were inundated with applications, blah blah blah. And you think this is what we've got down to, but he's not been mentioned at all. So is that just newspaper speculation that these will be the candidates, and that's they're not, they weren't involved at all, because none of the managers come out and said like they were tapped up or they've been speaking to Aberdeen, and suddenly this is a favoured guy, and he's really. I don't know if you had a chance to have a look at him, but it's really interesting the way he plays football. He had a bad time at Saint Etienne, but to be fair, they're in a huge financial mess.
I know,
so that you can maybe understand that. But his time at Brann was almost exceptional. I think it was in 2023. He was voted the joint 4th top manager in the world.
Was he really? What happened to him then? Did he get a few bad results and not take the a bigger challenge? What happened?
No, well, he took Brann up from. Let's see, he was assistant manager. They were struggling. He was appointed, but they were so far away. He couldn't actually. The results improved, but he couldn't keep them up. He went down. When he came back up, he took them to automatic promotion. He broke the Norwegian the league record for goals scored and points accumulated. Went up. They went straight to second that season. They won the cup, and I think they had 2 fantastic seasons. And then he walked away. He wanted to do something else.
Wow. Maybe we've got a fresh manager. Just got a bit of impetus now.
Well, what they say is they looked at his stats, and really, for me, I find it quite interesting. He's prone to sometimes playing what people would say maybe would be long ball. Okay, so he'll play it from the goalkeeper. He says everybody's like a Pep Guardiola now. It's all play out from the back, etc. And I want my teams to get into like dangerous attacking areas as quickly as possible. So so you'll put them out. You'll play it sometimes long, sometimes not, out to the wingers. Okay, and a lot of managers will avoid that because it's 50-50 whether you win the ball or you lose the ball. But his teams are set up to win it back really quickly. So even if they win it. That's fine. If they lose the ball, then they win it back immediately. They all press at high intensity. He said the stats said Brann had the best figures for opposition could only manage to string. What's it? I can't remember what it's called, but 6.5 passes before they won possession.
Wow.
So that's what they were doing. So it doesn't really matter, even if we lose the ball. We're on them. And he plays. This sounds really quite dangerous. At some point, the centre backs in the entire defence are in the opposition's half because they're all on them.
Wow. That's high risk, isn't it?
It is, but it worked. He's got that kind of confidence in his centre backs playing football. He'd rather have them playing football than his goalkeeper.
Yes. Chris, if that's the case, we'll need to get a new team and a new fitter team to play that kind of football because we haven't got it at the moment, have we?
Well, I mean, I'd rather Milne was playing the ball than Mitov, definitely. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
6.5. I mean, like I've always said it. Fine, teams can try and play it, and that's fine. But you've absolutely got to mix it up. If someone knows what you're going to do, it literally doesn't matter how good you are at it. You need to mix it up. And if it becomes a foot race between you and the fullback or whatever, then you know what? If you win 1 out of 3, bingo, you're in. You've got a chance.
Yeah.
I don't fancy Nisbet winning a foot race right enough, but I mean the transfer window I think shut. So, but I mean, he sounds as if he'd done a bit of a kettlewell there, but he's obviously got a decent level of talent and thinks about the game quite a lot. So you can maybe say, well, dispute the Saint Etienne thing if they are mired in money troubles or whatever. But it's. Yeah, I mean it's another Scandinavian manager. I mean you've got to say Bertolascu, who knows the league. So I don't. Did they even consider him?
Well, no, I don't. I think he's under contract, and Aberdeen are wanting to sign somebody now, and to get him out of his contract would be just too much. I think we're hoping, Glenn, that we're going to get another Motherwell manager, aren't we? That's what we're hoping, that we can get somebody who's got that football knowledge, setting up the teams, and can be the same. We don't want another Jimmy T. Lynn because he was a bit cautious. I always thought he used to, from defence out, and there was no running, there was no real strategy to these games. And I never even thought Jimmy Tillene knew his first 11, to be honest. Hopefully we can get somebody that can take us forward. Although Jimmy Tillene got a Scottish Cup, so
yeah, true. Look, Jimmy Tillene, nice guy, all that kind of stuff. I think he was at one point he was slightly out of his depth. Because when it went wrong, he fumbled and stumbled. I mean, he came to Aberdeen and he said it was about playing counter press and all that kind of stuff. But yet the team that he kept him putting on the pitch didn't do that. Correct. Initially, you thought, well, that's actually it's okay. He's working towards it. It'll take time. That was okay because we were getting results. And it was always like in the last 5-10 minutes, you think, okay, so we're not quite playing the football that he says we're going to play, but he's changed the mentality. They're never giving up. They're going 7-8 minutes into injury time and getting the winner kind of thing, But then they had a couple of defeats and the mentality went completely. And it was just a collapse. And you think, how can you not turn that around? And if it struggled for such a long time, and then I was chatting to my kids just the other day. I goes, what I can't understand is how you can't turn the mentality around in the league, okay? And you can go through a really, really awful 4 or 5 months. And then the week of the Scottish Cup, you can actually prepare them and they can actually have the mentality to go in there and play quite well against Celtic, to actually defend really well as a unit, etc. And to take the game into, not to give up, to take the game into the extra 30 minutes and then to win the penalties. I thought, how can you do that in the Cup with these same players? And yet none of those qualities were evident in the league.
Well, that's a good point, Chris, isn't it? It's when things are going well, a manager seems to be in control. But see, when you get that slip up, that's when a manager really earns his corn. He identifies where the problem is and he changes the team and formations around. But Tillene didn't do that, did he?
No, it just seemed like, just caught in the headlights, didn't really know what to do. And the modern game's changed, right? It's different. You can't do a Fergie, do the hairdryer treatment and all the rest of it. But it just seemed as if it was quite passive. It wasn't happening, and we'll maybe try. But as a one-off against Celtic, I mean, Celtic are going to come at you. So before anyone even kicked the ball, it was a one-off, and he knew what was going to happen. And obviously the week before, or the previous 10 days before, or whatever, just to look at that game and go, right, this is what we're not going to do. So I think it had that advantage as well. But yeah, it was just. You couldn't make a film. I keep saying it. You couldn't make a film about the first 10, 12 games or whatever it was, and then that absolute contrast, because people just wouldn't say, that's too Hollywood. They wouldn't believe it.
Exactly. Scottish football was in shock, wasn't it, at the downward spiral, Glenn, of Aberdeen after that Hibs game. It was just incredible.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was bizarre how one game can completely change the season of two clubs. So remember, Hibs were struggling and they were looking at sacking David Gray. And then, we scored, I think it was Sockler scored in deep into injury time. And then they scored to equalise 3-3. And then, we spiral down and they spiral up, It's an amazing game that we support it.
I know. Listen, there's other news in Scottish football. Kieran Bowie has left Hibs. He's got a signing for an Italian team. Is that a good move for our Scottish players to go there? Do you think it's beneficial for them? Is it a sad loss for Hibs? Chris, what do you think? Our players top players, going to Italy, when he might not get a game? He was getting a game with Hibs, remember?
I mean, he's a great player, and physically he might get a wee bit stronger, but he's already, a fully formed, strong Premier player. Misses the odd chance, but no, I think he absolutely should go. Is it $6.5 million all in for Hibs? So I think he should. Was it? So you've got obviously Billy Gilmore, McTominay, Che Adams, Ferguson. I think is it Doig? I think
Doig,
he's
Josh Doig.
Josh Doig, yeah.
So that's that's maybe seven players at the top. Obviously, Verona are at the bottom of the league now, but I think it'd be a great, for him, a great education. Just get out the goldfish bowl of Leith and absolutely go for it. So no, I think it's a really positive thing, even though it's down near the bottom of the league. They'll be scrapping down there, but yeah, I mean, I think that's what we should aim for. Guys playing in the top leagues, and they can always come back to Scotland. That's fine. Was it a corner going away over to Torpedo Moscow and that? Just go over and take a chance, and you'll learn. I mean, there's so many benefits in that. If we play other European teams, there'll be a bit of insight as well. So, yeah, I think fair play to the guy. He's had the chance and he's taking it.
You're the same, Glenn. Do you think it's a positive step? World Cup coming in. Well, if there is a World Cup, we don't know what's happening in America, but just if there is a World Cup, is this beneficial, more beneficial for Kieran Bowie, or less beneficial?
I think it's utterly fantastic. Look, Scott, for some reason, Serie A are now seeing the value in Scottish players, almost to the point of it's like they're now it's almost like the old English league. They would actually pay proper money, get Scottish players, and they would actually play them, and there would be Scots in the team getting football. May take a little while to get their regular football, etc. But that's what used to happen. Now the English league, they've got so much money down there. They snap up young Scottish players and they put them into their academies, their under 23 teams. They never see the light of day, etc. And eventually they come out and the confidence is gone. Serie A. They've had success with quite a few Scottish players now. I mean, remember, Hickey went there, when he was young, and he's come back, and he really, really kicked on from there. Ferguson, he's now captain of Bologna, etc. You look at these guys, and most of the guys that go to Serie A, and Shea Adams says, look, he might come back to Premier League, but he'll be coming back to a higher level he was playing before. He was with Southampton before. I think almost every single one that's went to Serie A has been developed. They've learned more tactically. They've learned how to play the game in a different style. Bowie is really young. And let's not forget, Bowie actually left Wraith Rovers. I mean, it was McGlynn that discovered Bowie when he was only 16. He saw him playing in a public park. And he said, took him in 16, played him there, and Wraith Rovers is his team. But he left and he went to Fulham. So he's been down there already, and he's experienced it. And I think Hibs paid about $1 million for him or something. That's why they had to get like a really significant fee for him, because I think there's also probably a sell-on fee for Fulham. But they broke the record. He's off there. He'll get 2-3 seasons. Whether he drops down to like Serie B, that'll still be good for him, because he'll be playing against tough defenders. He'll learn a trade there, and it can only be good for Scotland. And for Kieran Bowie, I think it's a really positive move.
I just think it's sad that we won't see him playing in the Premiership up here in Scotland. Because he is that good a player, very exciting player.
Yeah.
It's Scottish Cup tomorrow. We've got 15 minutes. Did we have one last question to go, Glenn?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So, right. Okay. So part of it, it's like a double question. Okay. So part of it you'll find quite easy. Okay.
Right.
Which twins play for Hibernian? One as a defender and one as a winger.
Right.
And which one was the first to be capped by Scotland?
Well, it's the Caddens.
Cadden.
Yeah. Which one's the defender? Which one's the winger? And who was capped first?
So,
it's guessing it.
Is it Paul Cadden's the winger?
There's no Paul Cadden.
Right, well, there you go then. So
there's Chris Cadden.
Chris and Nicky.
Chris Cadden is the defender with the beard. And the other one is Nicky, and he plays forward, isn't he?
That's right. So who's played for Scotland?
Nicky.
Chris?
Nicky.
Chris.
That's it. Yes, go with your name. Chris Cadden. Yeah.
It's difficult because I can never remember them playing for Scotland. I thought, is it? Yeah, it must be the guy going forward. Yeah. With Chris at the back, did he play at the back for Scotland, left back?
Yeah. I can't remember if he played left back or not. I mean, sometimes it's a 3 or a 5, or sometimes it's a 4. I can't recall the game that he played in, but yeah, he was capped first. Yeah,
it's just because Robertson's been in that berth all the time. Did he come on as a sub? Was it a sub he got his cap?
I can't recall, but more than likely.
More than likely. Scottish Cup tomorrow. What have we got? Anyone got the games there in front of them?
Yep, I've got them here. We've got a game tonight.
Oh,
Airdrie versus St Mirren.
Aye.
It's on the BBC, so if anybody's wanting to watch football tonight, it's on Council TV tonight at 7:45.
Yep. And by the way, Scotland A team are playing Italy tonight, and that's on a YouTube channel, Scottish Rugby's YouTube channel. So you can watch that live if you prefer rugby or Scotland. We'll take that one first. How do you think that one will go, Chris? Airdrie playing very well against St Mirren, who got a good result against Hearts.
Yeah.
Put a dent in their championship hopes.
Aye, they did, but I mean, St Mirren had to come good at. So I mean, but you know, if Hearts keep getting players sent off, they can't keep playing the fire. So yeah. I mean, I think St Mirren might overcome them. To be honest, you know, but I don't see this as a massive change in the league. But yeah, I think St Mirren possibly could edge it.
Yeah. What about you, Glenn? Are you going Premiership team against Championship team? It's a one way. It can only go one way.
Well, I don't know because Airdrie beat them last time they met in the League Cup. So and it's football, so it can go two ways. I say three ways. It could be a draw, you know. I've got a funny feeling that look, it was good at St Mirren, good for St Mirren. Great performance against Hearts. Chris is right about Hearts and their like discipline. It's honestly it could cost them really, really dear. St Mirren have been looking for a result in the league for a while. That's a cracker, honestly. Yeah. They've done really well in the cup. I just think they'll have enough in them to to beat them. I think Airdrie obviously be right up for it, but I think St Mirren will just have a little bit too much fun.
I've got to say the same. It'd be great for the cup, Airdrie to get something out of this, but I think I'm afraid you got St Mirren. You didn't get Rangers or Celtic, so and this is going to be their final, if you like, and it's not going to be a full stadium. It's a Friday night as well. That's another thing that really affects these teams. I'm going to go St Mirren. Momentum's a big thing in football. We say this all the time, and when you carry on from a win, that feeling in the dressing room, I've been there myself. It's like gung ho. Let's go for this. Let's do it. And I take St Mirren, but it won't be by much. I don't think. 3 for St Mirren tonight. What about tomorrow? There's a couple of cancellations, is there?
There is, but we've got the first one up is Dundee United versus Spartans.
Oh well, you would expect, Chris, would you not, Dundee United to win that one?
Well, I mean, they're struggling in the league, really, to be honest.
I know.
They're no doubt they're pinging it. They're dropping goals left, right, and centre. So I mean,
I know. They're porous.
I mean, you'd think Spartans might get a goal. You know, I mean, I personally, as a neutral, I would hope the Spartans get the first goal, and you know, it's a bit of gung ho.
Yes.
I think they could, but probably Dundee United might run it because I mean, you think about the states of the park as well. You know, Spartan will be used to playing in a dodgy park, but as far as the fitness goes, I think that's where it'll come in. You know, a waterlogged pitch or a wet pitch, then I think fitness ultimately, regardless of whether Dundee are, you know, on a sticky wicket now, I think fitness will probably kick in, and that'll see Dundee United through.
Glenn, Dundee United are porous at the back. The goalie's flapping at everything. The defenders don't know how to play from the back. They're losing the ball. They look like a team on the edge of their nerves. Something mad could happen here with this game.
Something mad could happen, or it could be deja vu for Jim Goodwin.
I know.
Because, you know, of course, the man who oversaw Aberdeen's dreadful night at Darvel, he actually said, I don't think there's any manager in the country that needs to be warned about teams from lower leagues more than myself. I go to bed thinking about it every night. He sounds like a haunted man. Spartans are flying, by the way. They're top of the league.
Aye.
You know, they're scoring goals. Dundee United, 4 losses in the league in a row. Spartans get a goal relatively early. I think that's it. I think it's Dundee United will crumble. They've got no confidence. They're very, very leaky. And Spartans, on the other hand, you know, they're banging in goals. They're a bit prone themselves at the back.
Yeah. Well, the only thing about that, and I'm going to go with Chris in this one. I think fitness might be the key factor here. Even if Spartans get an early goal, I think they'll be worn down by the fitter team, the professional team. And I think it'll be a tight game, 1-0. Dundee United would take a 1-0 win after tomorrow, because you're going to get this team. This is their cup final. They're going to be going gung-ho at every opportunity. But going gung-ho, where you would expect the skill level to be there with Dundee United. You can huff and puff for all you like, but Dundee United are a professional team, professional manager. He's been there. He doesn't want another Darvel, so he'll be putting that into his players, win this one or else. And I think that'll manage to get them over the line, I think.
I'm going to go, I'll say Spartans 1-0.
Good on you, Glenn. Good on you. I'm just going to go Dundee United because I've put money on this before and it's came back to haunt me. So I'm going to go for the big team.
Oh, Nori, I'm not putting money on it.
Chris, you're going 2 of us for Dundee United then?
I think Spartans might grab a goal, but I'd say 2-1.
2-1. I'm going 1-0 Dundee United. That's all. Next game. What's
Dunfermline versus Kelty Hearts.
Oh, then I tell you what, Dunfermline under Neil Lennon, Chris, are playing exciting, fast-flowing forward football. They're a joy to watch.
Yeah. Well, he's turned them round. There's no doubt about that. So I think he's brought a bit of the sort of higher league sort of ethos to them. So they're doing well, but Kelty Hearts did well to get through. So I don't know. Does this thing go to a finish tomorrow?
There's no replays. I think it goes to extra time and pens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Aye. Well, I mean, I'd go with the favourites again, and I would say Dunfermline might overcome them. I'd say 2-0.
Glenn?
Yeah, I mean, look, Dunfermline doing okay in the championship. Lennon's in charge of them. They'll be, Kelty Hearts, I think they're 10th bottom, struggling, fighting against relegation, a league below. This would be a bigger shock, I think, if they pulled it off, Yeah. So no, it's Dunfermline, probably relatively comfortable, 3-1.
I went 4-0. As much as that, only because you reinforced it earlier by saying Neil Lennon was the top manager. He's a serial winner, that guy. Do you know what I mean? He will leave no stone unturned. And the way he took on Hibs, that seemed like a Premiership battle rather than a league apart battle. Do you know what I mean? I think Chris has hit it in the head. He's taken them to a level up.
Yeah.
Next, what we've got?
Elgin versus Partick.
Oh, my dad's Elgin, born and bred, and I've got an affiliation to Elgin, but I just cannot see it tomorrow. Sorry, but Elgin, you'll huff and you'll puff. Chris, what do you think? What do you reckon in this one?
I don't know. I think if it's I think Partick could get drawn into it if it's blustery all day. So I'll stick my neck out and go for Elgin 1-0.
Wow! Yes, I hope that's the case. Glenn, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I think he'll be. I like Elgin City as well, actually. A load of Aberdeen fans up there, soft spot for them. But I can't see beyond Partick Thistle. They're going well in the championship. They drew 2-2 with St Johnson in the last match. They're second place. They're scoring goals, relatively decent at the back. Elgin, league below, and they're doing okay, but not great. 2-0, quite comfortable for Partick.
Yeah, Mark Wilson's doing a bit of good there. He's getting a good team in Partick Thistle. I think they're second. They're in the playoff position.
They are.
And that draw against St Johnson, that shows how good they are, neck and neck.
Keeps it alive.
I tell you, that division, by the way, is absolutely immense. It's just on a Friday night. You can see the games that are getting played. I've seen Morton are playing well. They played Ross County. I thought it'd be a tight game. Morton just rocked it, and then Ross County are playing really well at home, winning games against Queen's Park. Got a 1-0 win. So it's up and down. Any team can beat the other one. By the way, we've seen another casualty in the Premiership. Livingston manager
Martindale.
Aye, he's gone. He's he's
gone upstairs.
Has he got? He's left the dugout though. He's
yeah.
But Bartley. Is it Bartley? He's
Marvin, yeah.
Marvin. Got off to a bad start, but he's still got the same player, so same problems. Next game, what have we got?
Celtic Dundee.
Now, cup game. I think, Chris, Dundee, at the start, I didn't think Stephen Presley had it in him. I didn't know where he was coming from. I thought it was a bit of a left field appointment, but my goodness, he's got them firing on all cylinders, hasn't he?
I mean, I've got to fully confess the same with you. I was just like, yeah, pick the week he goes, and that's it. You know, it just looked as if he just wandered in for the street and thought, I'll give it a go. But he's done it. You know, the fact that we're still talking about them in terms of staying in the league, I think's credit to whatever it is he's doing. So and they gave Celtic a fright. Obviously, that was under Brendan when the players, you could see they weren't pulling their weight, I would say. But yeah, you're right. It's the cup, so I'm going to go out and say Dundee could maybe shock them. Why not?
Glenn?
Well, you're right. They could shock them. I don't think they will. Martin Neal's back. It makes a big difference. You saw the difference, when he first came in after Brendan Rodgers. You saw the difference when he left. He's a serial winner. So those two managers I mentioned before in the question, Martin Neal's third in the list. And let's not forget, when you're defining success, I mean, yeah, he failed at the last moment against Jose Mourinho's Porto, but he took them all the way to the final. He's a really, really good manager, knows the club inside out. He's got a few players in now that he actually, even though most of them are loans or cheap, he still has some of the players in that he wants. I think it might not be pretty. I think Dundee will put up a fight, but I think Celtic will probably win, probably 2-1.
Well, do you know this? I know that Dundee have got the ability to score goals, and they've just signed Scotty Wright. He's come back to the club, ex-Aberdeen, ex-Rangers as well, I think. He's added a bit of midfield nous to the team, and Simon Murray's coming back, and he's looking as sharp as ever up front. These guys will be wanting to. Now they're getting challenged for their position in the team. They've got two behind them wanting to fill the places. I think there's enough impetus to get on there. If they get the first goal, and if it goes a long time at 0-0, I think Dundee are still in with a great chance. So I'm sticking my neck out here. It's a cup game. Anything can happen. Dundee, go for it. 1-0. The other one, tomorrow's, is that for today? That's
Saturday done. We've got on Sunday we've got Rangers versus Queen's Park. Sorry. Remember, you said you're not going to be biased.
No, I'm not. Chris, how would you reckon?
Wishful thinking, but I don't think Rangers are a great team, but they're performing to the best of their ability, I think, just now, and they are starting to look like a team. So I think they will be too strong for Queen's Park. 2-0 Rangers.
Glenn?
Yeah, let's not forget how Queen's Park got here. They didn't win the match. They lost on penalties, but because I think it was Stramash fielded an ineligible player. The rules are the rules. And look, I think they'll be happy just getting the paycheck. They're going to get £400,000 for this. Rangers unbeaten in 6. I think they've won 5 and drawn 1. They're not brilliant, but they will be too good for Queen's Park. I think Queens are bottom of the championship as well, so they're struggling. They're
struggling big time, but. It's a cup game again, but I think Rangers are. I take the other view, Chris. I think Rangers are playing pretty good football compared to what they have been doing, and they're on a wee bit of a run. Hearts will be looking over their shoulder, but there's a lot of football to be played. I'm taking Rangers to win this one as well, but again, like you, Glenn, it's a nice payday for them. They're lucky than other clubs. They've got one of the old firms, you know what I mean, for a banker. Yeah. And that takes us to the end of the show, I'm afraid. We've all got to dash do different things.
Stand out for your Falkirk.
Sorry, Sten. This is a good one. Sorry, I thought it was the last one. Stenny.
It's on Sunday too.
Yeah. We'll just do this one because I've got a minute left. They put out Morton in the last round, and that was a cracking match. They absolutely destroyed Morton. I can't remember who the manager is.
Gary Naismith.
Gary Naismith. That's the guy. He's got them. He's got a tune out of them. Chris, have you seen much of Stenny?
No, I think John McGlynn used to manage him as well, no? Back in the day. I can't mind. But I think they'll give him a fright. That's a short answer. I think they might win 1-0.
Stenny against Falkirk.
Aye.
Wow. Glenn?
Ooh, I think this is going to be I wish this was on TV. I don't think it is. Actually, no, I think it is. It's on Council TV. It's a 7:30 kickoff. Yeah, watch it. So both teams are attacking teams. Both teams are scoring lots of goals. I think they've got Stenny have got a boy, Matty Aitken. He scored 2 against Morton. He's got 11 this season so far. Falkirk, they're going to attack. I think there's going to be lots of goals. I mean, it'll probably be a howling night, awful weather, etc. But it'll be Scottish football at its best. There'll be goals, drama, incidents, and I just think probably Falkirk will prevail. But probably maybe 3-2 to Falkirk.
Yeah, I think it'll be a scoring game, and I think Falkirk will edge them out. Fitness again, and just that Premier League knows how to win games, and they've been doing that in the Premiership. Sorry I missed this Stenny one out at the end, but we caught it just in time. Listen, if you like that, can you please subscribe to the channel and put a like? It helps us a hell of a lot. And get the wee bell notification. You'll hear us every weekend when we're on. But for the time being, for now, we have to go. We've all got to dash away doing our things. So thanks for joining us. If you've kept up with us this far, all the best. Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Have a nice weekend, guys. Cheers.